I'm making kombucha. So what do I have here? I have tea that I got from China. Really? Yeah. So I got this tea, 100% organic oolong tea. So I need a whole bunch of bags of that. So I don't know. I think how many bags did I say I have? 18 bags, and I'm going to make 18 bags of tea with that. 18 teas. I'm gonna make a gallon of tea. All these tea bags go into the water.
Do they mean 15 minutes?
Let that steep for a few minutes. So I brewed the tea in that pan, and then I poured it into this 1 gallon container. And now I'm just going to add cold water to dilute it to the proper amount of tea to water. So the bacteria needs something to eat inside of the tea. Right now it wouldn't have anything to eat in there and grow. So what I'm going to do is take 1 cup of sugar, and I'm going to dump it into the tea.
All right, I need half a cup. No.
And then mix that up. I'll mix that up in a second. But it's still a low sugar food because the bacteria eat all that sugar and it goes away. And I guess it converts it into carbon dioxide, which then escapes out the top. I'll be covering this in a bit.
You have a cutting board.
So I mixed the sugar in, and now I have to wait for this to cool to room temperature before I put the scoby in. My tea is now cold enough to put the scoby in. Now the scoby is just a hunk of it's bacteria and yeast, I think. And you just drop it in there. It's kind of a small one. And then I guess this is some kombucha. I'll drop that in there too. Now I'm going to take some cheesecloth and a rubber band. And this is just to keep stuff from getting in there. And allowing the thing to breathe. And then I'll put this away for 7 to 10 days. I'm just going to put it in a cabinet where it won't get any light, because apparently this stuff doesn't like any light. Alright, so the scoby has floated up to the top, and I'm just going to give the kombucha, this is just tea kombucha now, and try a little bit. Hopefully this works. Okay, so it's got like a tea flavor. Most of the sweetness is completely gone. So it's ready for the next step, ready for the next brewing. All right, so the next step is to make some fruit juice, to put in the kombucha. And once you put that in, it has to go for another 4 days. It has to ferment. So I'm going to take some peaches and some Asian pears, and I'm going to put them through the juicer, and I'm going to make about 2 cups of fruit juice. All right, go ahead, put some peaches and pears in. All right, grab some pears. All right, so that's about 2 cups right there. So that's good. All right, so what I have to do now is take the scoby out, and I'm going to put it in this little dish here so that when I make more tea, I can just put the scoby in. Now this scoby has grown significantly since the last time I made this. It looks like there's a couple different scobies in there. So I'm going to now put some of this tea in here as well, some of this kombucha, so that the scoby has a little something to eat. Although there's probably not a ton of sugar in there. But when you start another batch of kombucha, when you make the tea, you want to add a little bit of this kombucha with it. So this actually is the kombucha right here. And then we're going to add some fruit juice to it. Let it ferment for a few more days. and then it will be ready to drink. So our next step is to filter the kombucha. Take the kombucha. I'm just going to use a regular strainer here, and I'm going to filter out any solids that may have formed on the kombucha.
Make sure you don't spill the kombucha out. Like what happened last time when you were putting it into the jars.
All right. So filter out any solids. Now I'm done with this for now. There's some solids in there, and that's the tea. So
Oh, that smells really bad right now.
Take the tea over, and I'm going to fill up these jars. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of fruit juice in each jar, and then I'm going to fill it the rest of the way with the kombucha. So I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of peach pear juice and drop it in each one of these. Easily pour into the jars. I'm transferring the kombucha into this little blender pitcher here.
Stop.
And I'll have to do a couple of them. So I'm just going to add, and I'll just fill these up to the top.
Stop.
And I cleaned the jars really well and washed my hands really well so as not to introduce any other bacteria, any non-beneficial bacteria. So that's it. Now I'll cover these, and then they'll sit for 4 days in a cool, dry place. Let's show them where we keep this stuff, Trevor. Down there in the butler's pantry, next to the vodka. All right,
Pickles.
it's good.